We'll call to order the City of Douglasville's legislative work session for tonight's meeting for the Douglasville City Council. Today is Thursday, June the 1st, and we will have our invocation, and that will be done by Pastor Alicia Horton of the Daystar Tabernacle Church, and after that, our Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand at this time to receive the invocation?
Father, we just thank you for an awesome meeting that we're going to have today. We thank you for the hearts melting together as one, Father. We thank you for the unity and the love to better this community. We thank you for what you're going to do, and we're going to continue to give you thanks and give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Thank you so much, Councilman Miller, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and Pastor Horton for leading us in the invocation. Now we will do announcements and presentations, and we don't have any tonight outside of the regular protocol for the legislative work session, and I will go through that now. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Douglasville's legislative work session. This is a work session where agenda items are presented for discussion and no official action will be taken tonight. Official action will be taken on these items discussed tonight on Monday at 6 p.m. If the business that you are here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item comments from citizens and delegates section for you to discuss your business. There are a few protocol items I need to make sure that you're aware of before we start the meeting. I ask that you would listen closely so that there will be no misunderstandings about how tonight's meeting will be conducted. I ask that you would please keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make their decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered to be, by the chair, a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. You'll receive a warning from the chair. If you deviate from that requirement, the second deviation will result in a request for you to leave the chambers from the premises from this evening. Only one person will be speaking at a time. Please do not applaud or react to speakers. Speak from the audience. Cheer, carry on a conversation with others, or disrupt in any way this meeting. I remind you that we are only required to accept public comments on zoning matters. We are not required to accept public comments on other items before the council will make its decision. Items will be held this way for the agenda items. The committee chair will read the items first, the agenda item, then the person representing the agenda item or the applicant will make his or her presentation first, and that will be the only opportunity for you to present the information. Then the mayor and the members of the council will possibly ask questions from the applicant to seek any additional information. After that, the committee chair will ask for comments or statements from the audience. There will be a maximum time of 30 minutes for those to speak in favor of the agenda item and 30 minutes for those that are in opposition, and we'll ask each speaker to only speak for 5 minutes at a time. When you come to the podium, please provide your information. There's a form that you should have filled out on the desk. It's a green form. If you'd like to speak, you please put your name and address and your pertinent information and hand that to our city clerk, Ms. Vicki Acker, to my right. And please address your comments to the chair and not the audience. And I would ask at this time, if you have electronic devices, telephones, iPads, touchpads, and such, if you would please put those in silent mode or turn those off so they will not be disruptive to the meeting. Okay, hope that I've covered everything so that there won't be any misunderstandings. And now we'll go on with the agenda items. The first committee is Public Safety Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No items at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Community and Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
No business tonight, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to Planning and Development Committee. That's also chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 3 items tonight under Planning and Development. The first item is 2217-20 that was tabled on May the 15th of 2017. we'd held a public hearing and consider a request for a variance to reduce the required 50-foot front yard setback in subsection of the 4.03.01A of the zoning ordinance for a variance of 28 feet for remaining requirement of 22 feet on the west side of the lot, and to reduce the required 30-foot rear yard setback for a variance of 10 feet for remaining requirement of 20 feet on the east side of the lot for a principal structure located at 8660 Club Drive, Land Lot 16, District 1, Section 5E, Parcel 103. Application by Jason Bell. Is Mr. Bell available here tonight? If so, please approach and we'll have our discussion concerning this item. How are you tonight, sir?
How you doing, Mark?
We have you.
Jason Bell, 4435 Red Eagle Court, Douglasville, Georgia, 30135.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. We appreciate you being here. I know that we had some concerns and some questions for you, and I think you had some questions at our last meeting when we decided to table this. And from the information that I have been given, I'm not sure that I can download my
Not working.
my item. Maybe I can, but regardless of that, there were questions about the septic system and whether or not you had an approval of it. I think my concern was that the piece of property was less than 20,000 square feet total, so I had some concerns about that, and we also had concerns about the setback and the new front yard setback being only 22 feet from the garage to the right-of-way. So update us on what you have come up with and what information has been gained, and help us with that, and we'll see what we can do come Monday. Go ahead. Do you
Okay.
have anything to add to that?
Well, we met on Tuesday. The WSA,
Okay.
the septic tank, Miss Marsha,
Okay.
Michelle. So we came up with what we needed. Is anything else needed besides that?
And Mr. Bell presented a new plan for us. It should be in there for you.
We can't download it.
Yes,
Yes,
Ms.
download.
Wright. I've seen it, but I can't
okay.
download it and make comments.
And Environmental Health stated that they could put a septic tank on there, and went over it with him. We also looked at, he submitted a new plan, and he's asking now for 37-foot, 8-inch front yard variance, and for 21-foot, 1-inch rear yard variance. I do have the plan here if you want me to pass it around to.
That would be great. It appears from your conversation, what you just mentioned, Ms. Wright, that he has changed house plans. I think that
Yes.
was one of the issues. Okay.
We're still gonna do the 1,800 square feet, but it's just, remember how the garage was not square, so we did a square house instead of doing it the way that we had before.
And it appears to be a pull-under basement then, is that what it is?
No, it's on a slab.
Okay. But you're,
You had a room above the garage that did you do that?
Yes, it's gonna be a 1.5 story. It's gonna be a story and a half.
it appears that you have shifted the house to the south,
Yes.
changed the driveway entrance from the left side to the right side.
Yes.
And all of your septic system is on the left side then?
Yes.
Okay.
And we met with Susan Wright, and we have plenty enough footage for drainage, so that worked as well. They should have approval letter too in that email.
Okay, and what about the concern that one of our fellow citizens had about, because you were asking for such a variance on backyard setback, privacy fence?
Yes, two things. One, the variance isn't as great as it was. It's less now. Plus, the fence is 50% up. The trees are cut, and it's halfway in now. But it'll be finished due to the rain. It'll be finished by like next Thursday, Friday, way before the construction of the home.
So I'm assuming by you having started it, then you were in agreement that you would install the privacy fence as a part of this?
I was doing one anyway, so it made it easy.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, that was the only concern that the neighbor expressed was the privacy
correct,
fence.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Who
else?
My only comment is I appreciate you going, kind of the extra mile to put it all together for us and make it less of a decision for us.
Well, I want to thank y'all. I mean, Ms. Marsha and Ms. Michelle set up the meeting, and it was easy after that. We sat down, figured it all out. I mean, it went very smooth after that.
That's what we like to hear. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Any other comments or questions?
Just want to make a comment too. Thank you for doing your due diligence, although there was a hiccup. and the staff did a great job, but you did a good job as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say also, Mr. Bell, I'm impressed. Again, I think I mentioned this to you in our meeting when I was there, the previous set of meetings, doing a great job on what you're doing there. It looks really nice.
Thank you.
Appreciate you doing that.
Love the city. Thank you.
There's no other information on this. We'll take this up on Monday night for a vote. Thank you very much. Item B, consider a request for plat approval for the purpose of subdivision into 3 separate tracts for 39.49 acres located land lot 163, District 2, Section 5, Parcel 21. Application by Aaron McCullough Hughes Ray Company. And I'm assuming, Mr. Fowler, you must be representing that item.
Joe Fowler, Post Office Box 49, Douglasville. I'm here on behalf of Hughes Ray. Aaron not able to come tonight. There's a tract of roughly 40 acres located just south of Woods Road, east of Bright Star Road, and 25.84 acres of that property is under contract. Because that is the only portion that would be under contract and for which the buyer would seek rezoning, they must have the plat subdivided, or I should say the tract subdivided into 3 parcels. You probably have the larger plat before you, or may have seen it at some point. The parcel that's under contract for sale, as I mentioned, is 25.84 acres. That will leave just to the east a 7.7 acre, I'm sorry, just to the south and east a 7.7 acre parcel, and then Woods Road comes down and joins Bright Star Connector, and to the east of that would be 5.88 acres. It's just it's not a housekeeping matter, of course, but it is a request to subdivide it so that there would be those separate tracts. That's it, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Fowler. Questions, comments concerning this? I cannot pull it up to see it, so I don't understand the logistics of it, but some of you may be able to.
I can see it on mine, but I also, technical note, if you shut off your iPad and turn it back on, then things seem to be working fine then. So this is immediately south of the other project that you brought before. So is this related to the same?
It's the same basic company that's buying this parcel that bought the one that's to the north, that's, as you know, currently under construction and
For an
development.
additional project, or?
Yes, sir, there's a project, and we'll be coming in for rezoning shortly.
And the piece that's south of the Bright Star Connector, is that?
There's nothing south of the Bright Star that's part of this or any future project.
Well, the 3 different parcels that I'm looking at, it looks like tract 3 is south of the connector. 5.88 acres, or is that not part of?
I may have looked at the plat wrong. Let me
It's
apologize.
sideways, so north is to the left.
That is not under contract to the client that I represent, and it's not under rezoning as far as I know.
So
The-
by
the-
subdividing it, the current owner can hold on to that piece for whatever
For
purpose.
commercial purposes is my understanding, yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm sorry about the north arrow, I see that point.
Other questions of the applicant? Is there any public question or comment? Okay,
Thank
Mr.
you very
Fowler,
much.
come back on Monday night and we'll discuss and vote on that item. I apologize that we can't pull up the plat.
90 degrees off anyway, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Next item, item C, consider a request for revised plat approval for Braylon Manor for the purpose of correcting stream buffer lines on lots 113 and 123 for .46 acres, land lot 193, District 2, Section 5A, parcels 168 and 178. Application signed by Butch Oliver of D.R. Horton Crown LLC. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Is there someone here to represent that request?
Sir, I'm Jeff Wilkerson. I'm with LaCroix Engineering. We actually prepared the replat. My address is 1121 Blue Water Court, Beaufort, Georgia. So basically, this is just a correction of the existing final plat of Braylon Manor. There's 2 subject lots that D.R. Horton Crown LLC currently owns. They plan to construct homes on. This is to clean up the buffer issues that were not reflected on the original final plat that take into account the stream that was previously piped as a part of the construction of the overall subdivision.
Give me your name again, please, sir.
Jeff Wilkerson.
Mr. Wilkerson, the purpose then would be to allow lots 113 and 123 then to be constructed upon within the setbacks as it looks on the property plat itself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. The previous stream buffers did not encroach into the buildable area really much more than what's shown. By eliminating the stream buffers, the buffers become correct based on the pipe that's been installed with the original construction. And then 123 gains the benefit of having more area to have a driveway with the removal of that buffer.
Okay.
These plans have also already been approved by WSA.
Okay. Comment, question?
Chairman, I want to make sure I'm understanding this plat and map. The part that is yellow is the new stream or the old? I don't know if you see it in yellow on yours.
Yeah, I don't see yellow. I just have black and white.
It's right down, crossing Brody Court, there's a black, white, which I would assume is a pipe going under the road. But
Yes.
there's dashed lines on either side of the road leading up to that that's on our version is highlighted in yellow.
Okay. The line that goes perpendicular to the head walls of the pipe, that is the new buffer where it ends because it's no longer a stream since it's in the pipe.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else have a question for Mr. Wilkerson?
I do, Mr. Chairman. So the detention pond would cover all of the entire subdivision?
That is one of the ponds within the subdivision, and it's not affected by this proposal. It's untouched.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I just,
Mr. Miller?
point of clarification, the yellow line, is that the stream?
Buffer.
I apologize. I don't see the yellow line. Does the
There's
yellow
a
line go perpendicular to the pipe?
There's a pipe that goes across, and then there's a line that runs perpendicular, and then it's kind of like an L up above it. Oh, okay.
Okay, that's just showing the limits of the revised stream buffer.
Is that a flowing stream, or is it?
No, that is
intermittent?
just the buffer. The flowing stream is, there should be a call out that calls out stream center line and then rested vegetation on both sides of the pipe that goes under the road.
Not even, okay.
Other comments or questions? I'm going to call on Mr. Mettler to approach Mr. Wilkerson, if you would allow, please, and let him address this issue for us, just so that he can clarify this, because we're seeing a very small space when compared to the entire plat. So can you help us, Mr. Mettler, to make sure we understand?
Certainly. In the original plat, the stream buffers that were delineated on the plat went continuously over the road surface and the lake. The Georgia Soil and Conservation Commission came out with a ruling on how to interpret stream buffers as it passes through a culvert, and the head walls were the deciding factor. That parallel to the head wall, the stream buffer would stop and then would resume again once it came out the other side of the road. And what we're doing here is reflecting that, so the lots 113 and 123 are not impeded by the stream buffer, as it is not being represented there any longer.
I see. Do you see a problem with this being removed? Is there any other issue with these two lots that would cause concern as far as floodplain or setback?
There is nothing there that will prevent them from building houses within the setbacks that are delineated on this plan.
I see. Okay.
And
Yes.
that's cured by the culvert?
I'm sorry, sir?
That's cured by the culvert being there, that kind
Yes,
of relieves?
it's because it is at an angle, the line that runs perpendicular to the culvert itself as the starting and stopping point for the stream buffer.
Got it. Anyone else? Any other public comment? If not, Mr. Wilkerson, we'll take this item up on Monday night. We thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes. Madam Mayor, that's all that we have under that committee. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Parks and Recreation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no items tonight under Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, sir. Finance Committee, the Vice Chair, Councilmember Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Finance Committee does have 2 items tonight. The first is to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement and annual engagement letters with Malden and Jenkins LLC for audit services to be provided for 5 annual terms, beginning with the audit for fiscal year 2017. Good evening, Ms. Callan.
Karen Callan, Finance Director, 6695 Church Street. We issued an RFP a couple weeks ago, actually a month and a half ago, not a couple weeks. We received 5 bids. We narrowed that down to 2 based on technical skills without looking at the price. We opened the top 2 based on technical skills, and Malden and Jenkins was the lowest bidder, and we are recommending Malden and Jenkins.
Comments or questions from Mayor and Council? Hearing none, I would like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday if there's no objections. Thank you. And our second item is to authorize the mayor to sign a change request form as the second amendment to the city's contract with Bellefoy Tour and Associates Incorporated to revise the computerized database for business licensing.
Yes, we are requesting that a change order be approved for $9,000 for our business license portion of the software conversion. This will be the second change order for the contract. The first change order was a negative change order of around $20,000. So we'll still be at a negative net change order situation, but this will be to transfer all the historical data for business licenses rather than just transfer 1 year of data for our business licenses. And this will also allow us to decrease our maintenance expenses for the old AS400 SunGuard.
Thank you. Comments or questions from Mayor and Council? Hearing none, I'd also like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday night if there are no objections. And that's all we have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. We'll move on to Information and Technology Committee. That's also chaired by you, Mr. Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do have one item. That's to authorize the mayor to sign a contract with a branding study firm. We had discussion about this in committee meetings. We had 3 firms present to us their proposals last week in a special committee meeting. And we'll be thinking about this over the weekend and make a recommendation on Monday.
Yes, sir.
So that will not go on the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Maintenance and Sanitation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item tonight, and that is to authorize the mayor to sign 2 task orders with AECom Technical Services Incorporated for environmental site assessments for the city's planned new maintenance and sanitation facility and for the planned renovation of old City Hall building for office use of the city's maintenance and sanitation department with SPLOS funds. I understand Ms. Hampton is going to address this.
Yes, sir. If you take a look at your first attachment that says Phase 1 price proposal for the Cedar Mountain Road facility, this entails all of the initial environmental assessments that we have to do to take a look at the property. The total cost for that first initial assessment is a total of $12,750. This is part of the initial process for the maintenance and sanitation facility getting those initial phases completed. Your second attachment is for the Courthouse Square East proposal. That's to do a survey, mold and radon assessment testing. There are several different tests that we need to do to take a look to quantify what our cost estimates will look like as far as remediation in that facility. And the total cost for those tests are $7,500. And these funds would come from your SPLOST proceeds as a part of your program budget for that total project for the new maintenance facility.
Ms. Roberts, do you have anything to add? Any comments or questions from I think this is just the first phase of something we've been looking at for quite some time, and I believe everyone has an understanding of that. If it pleases the mayor and council, I'd ask that this be placed on the consent agenda for Monday night. That's all we have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Transportation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember LaShawn Danley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Several items here. The first is to authorize the mayor to sign an amendment to the city's contract with GHC Corporation for a change order for the Welcome Center TE Grant CSTEE-000-10728 for additional excavation for substandard soil and additional stone for a fee of $2,334.84. Ms. Wright.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Michelle Wright, 6695 Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia. This item is, when we went out on the site, the soil was not good. It was spongy. And in order for us to put the concrete walkway down, it was recommended that we do this change order for adding an additional 57 stone and doing some additional excavation underneath the substandard soil on the Welcome Center Plaza T Grant.
Okay. And this amount is not taking us over the budgeted amount, correct?
So far, we are remaining in budget, and we're trying to keep the costs down.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. If there aren't any, I make a motion that we put this item on the consent agenda. The second item is to authorize the mayor to sign a Title IV non-discrimination agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation. Michelle, did we not sign this before?
Yes, we did. However, Ms. Littlefield pointed out to us we had one of the words wrong, and we needed to use the word agreement. So we're running this back through council on the agenda item.
All
and
right.
You have seen it before.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Thank you, Ms. Littlefield, for finding that error. If there aren't any comments or questions, I'd like to also put this item on the consent agenda. And the last item is authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Braun Cleveland Associates Incorporated for project management and inspection services for FY15 TE corridor lighting and banners Phase 2, project TEE-0009-0035, PI number 0009035. Ms. Wright.
When we last looked at the lighting and banners Phase 2 contract, a contract was approved for the construction in the amount of $871,000, $622.12, and part of this money is coming from GDOT with 80/20 grant, and then part of it from the SPLOST. Once we had that figure and had the contract with the consultant, we're now coming back to you to have construction management administration for the project, and the cost on that is 5%. And we're recommending Braun Cleveland and Associates because they are the engineers on the property. And so that total would be, the 5% would be $43,581.11 for them to do construction administration. They are on the plaza now doing construction administration for our Welcome Center T Grant.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. Are there any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have one, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So the match is what on the 43,000? Or did I misunderstand?
There is no match on the
Okay.
$43,581.11. This would have to come out of the SPLOST
Okay.
that we had discussed on the project.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Okay, if there are no other comments or questions, there are no other items under transportation. Thank you.
So much.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to Personnel and Organization Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do have a few items. The first one is to authorize the mayor to sign a contract with 2020 Incorporated to deliver on-site vision care to evaluate City of Douglasville's employees' visual acuity or ocular health, or offer a selection of eyewear in accordance with the selected service plan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tia Alston, 6695 Church Street, Human Resources. Yes, this item before you is our recommendation from the HR department to enter into an agreement with 2020 Inc. They are a mobile eye care unit that would like to provide services to the city of Douglasville through the use of our insurance, iMed. They are also able to offer non-insured employees services as well, to include eye exams, eyewear, contacts, and things of that nature. And again, they are mobile. We would like to partner with them also for our upcoming Wellness Week in August of this year, the week of the 21st, to be able to provide those services during that week. And they are interested in being a vendor at our health fair next year. So we have vetted this with our staff attorney. They come recommended from our insurance broker, Shaw Hankins, and I've had opportunity to talk with them about their services, and I think it would be a benefit for our employees. So we would like to recommend entering into an agreement with 2020.
Any comments or questions from Mayor and Council? Hearing none, I'd like to put this on the consent agenda for Monday if there's no objections. All right, second item I have, I navigate to it, here we go. Adopt an ordinance to amend subsection 11-8.1.a of the Personnel Policies and Procedures Ordinance to conform the city's provisions on employee use of sick leave to care for family members to the provisions of Georgia Senate Bill 201, requiring that employees be allowed to use their earned sick leave to care for grandchildren, grandparents, and tax dependents.
Yes, as mentioned in our 5 o'clock meeting, this item is to allow us to update our current sick leave policy to reflect the Georgia Senate Bill 201, to include those family relationships that are mentioned here, grandchildren, grandparents, and tax dependents, to our current policy. Also mentioned was that our bereavement policy did not need to be updated because it was a broader policy. Also, Ms. Littlefield has vetted this ordinance as well, and we want to be ahead of the July 1 effective date of that bill so that our employees will be able to use sick leave to care for those additional family members.
Any comments or questions from Mayor and Council?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to make sure, Ms. Alston, this just puts us in line with the new law on the state level, correct? According
Yes,
to
sir.
our ordinance, it would then line up with that state law.
Yes, sir, and the maximum is 5 days.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
Anyone else? All right, if there's no objections, I'd like to put this on the consent agenda for Monday. Okay, third item I have is to adopt a resolution abolishing the athletic director position, approving a job description for the athletic coordinator position, approving one job slot for the athletic coordinator position, and adopting a new organizational chart for the Parks and Recreation Department.
Yes, sir. This item also previously mentioned is our recommendation to reclassify the athletic director position to athletic coordinator. We have vetted this item as well and done research in other entities to compare their Parks and Recreation Department. As mentioned previously, there was no salary effect on this position, but we did look at the essential duties and the authority that the position had previously and wanted to bring it in line with what our needs are for the city of Douglasville. So we would like to reclassify this position. You also have the job description before you to see what the changes were to this position, and this is what our recommendation would be for that position.
Any comments or questions from Mayor and Council? You want to add anything, Mr. Landrum? I think you covered it very well. I think so too. Okay, well, in that case, I'd like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday if there's no objections. Okay, and my final item is to create the adjunct appointment title of Deputy Zoning Official and consider the mayor's nomination for that office.
Yes, I will be requesting that the mayor nominate someone on Monday to fill the role as a deputy zoning official. As you all know, our Community and Development Services Director, Jonathan Lynn, has turned in a 2 weeks notice. He will be leaving us to go to another municipality. That will leave us short staff. We do have some out of the office current plans for other employees, so there will be a need for us to have another individual to be able to do essential duties such as signing off on zoning verification letters. So if you would honor that request of her nomination on Monday, my recommendation is a current staff member, Devin Hooper. She will make her nomination at that point, and I would ask that you would highly consider that. It would be very helpful.
Well, then I can't put this on the consent agenda
No.
since the mayor won't make her nomination until Monday. So that's all I have for tonight. Well, first, any comments or questions from mayor or council? All right, that's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir. We'll move on to Ordinance and Intergovernmental Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no public business tonight, but I would like to, at the end of the meeting, adjourn into an executive session meeting.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Duly noted. Okay, we'll move on to Education and Training Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Madam Mayor, no business at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir. Other business. Is there any other business to come before council tonight from council members?
Madam Mayor, I just want to commend our police department on yet another incredible town hall meeting earlier this week. They did a fabulous job.
Very good. Community policing. Good thing. Any other business to come before council tonight? Okay, if not, we'll move on. Our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Chief Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Susan Littlefeld.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. It's not the chief, but it's the major.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. City Manager, Ms. Marcia Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. Just to remind you all that we have not as long of a day tomorrow, but we do wrap up our budget workshops tomorrow. If you don't mind, we start promptly at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we will have you out by noon, 12 p.m. guaranteed. You will be exiting the room and adjourning the meeting. Also, just to be mindful for those who want to participate, and we hope that you all participate. The Hydrangea Festival is this weekend, so I hope that you all will be there. Greg, staff will be on hand, on duty. Some of us will be working, providing shuttle services for the event, so it should be a good event this weekend for the community. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Ms. City Manager. Comments from citizens and delegates now is the opportunity for anyone who's attending the meeting and did not discuss anything that was on the agenda, but you do have something that you want to bring before the mayor council. The floor is open. We'd love to hear from you. Please come forward and give your name and address for the record, and we'd be happy to hear from you from the podium. You filled out the form? Okay. City Clerk.
Hello. My name's Jim Popham. My address is 8599 Estelle Street, Douglasville. And what I would like to request is that we get a four-way stop at the intersection of Melrose Street and Estelle Street. My parents live on one corner of it, and it's widows that live on the other three houses. And people cut through from Campbellton over to Fairburn Road to, and it's fairly fast traffic, a little unsafe with the age of some of the residents right there, and people that live on Melrose Circle. As you go through, if they go straight down, you expect everybody to turn on Fairburn Road, and if they keep going straight on Melrose Circle, they sometimes catch you off guard. We live at the end of Estelle Street, so when we pull up, it's just a potential hazard. I went around and got signatures from everyone that lives on Estelle Street, and right there at Melrose, just adjacent to the intersection, and everyone had a story of a close call. And no one was opposed, everyone was in favor. So I appreciate y'all considering that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pop. Our city clerk, city manager will take the form from you. We appreciate you doing your due diligence and getting those signatures, and we'll make a decision, and thank you. We'll consider your request. You have anything else you want to say? Thank you, Mr. Poppin. Yes, sir. Any other comments from citizens and delegates?
Madam
The
Mayor,
podium is open. Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank Mr. Poppin for doing his due diligence, and our city manager and chief will take care of it. I'll make sure I be with him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? Okay. Any staff reports? It's Ms. Chan Weeks from Keep Douglasville Beautiful.
Good evening, Chan Weeks, Executive Director of Keep Douglasville Beautiful, 8578 Club Drive. Wanted just to let you guys know about the upcoming Flag Day event that we'll be celebrating on June the 14th. It's a Wednesday this year, and we will be holding it in front of the Conference Center here in downtown outside at the flagpoles. It will be at 6:30 p.m., and that's about it. Should be a nice little event. I hope y'all can make it.
Okay, well, that was the staff report under your committee. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You're the mayor.
Okay. It's my meeting. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Weeks. Are there any questions or comments from the council members about Flag Day? Hopefully, we'll have attendance. I do see a lot of the beautiful flags out in the downtown area on Broad Street and Church and some other streets. So they look really nice. Thank you so much, Ms. Weeks. Okay, now I will open the floor for a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss potential litigation and property acquisition.
Madam Mayor, I move to adjourn into executive session to discuss potential litigation and property acquisition.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to adjourn into executive session. Are there any questions or comments from the council? Thank you. All those in favor of adjourning to executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. The ayes have it. We are adjourning into executive session to discuss a potential litigation property acquisition.